We're done playing around. It's been an entire week and a day now. So what happened? Tell us.
I'm here to tell you, Frankie's batshit crazy. This guy is nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah! Squeezing my finger, man! Sure, I'll take it off. I'm sorry.
He's a bad guy.
David?
The boyfriend.
So quit bullshitting us then, because you know exactly what he would have done. That's not so retarded that you're even saying that. That didn't even make sense.
At 2:30 p.m. on June 27, 2016, Kenneth Heisler returned home from work and noticed that his house had been burglarized. However, the most alarming discovery was that his 30-year-old son, David, was missing, along with his car, which was very out of character for him.
I came home from work. I left at 3:30 this morning to go to work. I come home about 2:30 today, and pulled into the garage, took a shower, went to the pool, came back into the house. So about an hour later, I noticed that my wife's stuff is missing. And the iPad's missing. And I checked the front door. The deadbolt still has a deadbolt on it, and no one has a key for that deadbolt.
The TV's left with the video game on.
So what are we missing right now that you know of?
My wife, 30-year-old. My wife's jewelry box got all kinds of rings in there. On here, it's probably about this big, but it's got a lot of sentimental value to my wife. Rings and stuff. She's on vacation.
So somebody had to know where the jewelry box was. And
Where'd you say your son is?
We don't know.
Well, I called his work, and he's not scheduled to work today.
We called.
and he goes to voicemail, you said, when you called him?
Yeah, he just turned off. But his car's gone, but his wallet and his driver's license, and there's no money in the wallet.
But he got paid yesterday.
He got paid yesterday. His wallet's still there.
Car's gone. Phone's off.
Yeah. So now I have to think otherwise.
30-year-old David Heisler lived with his father and stepmother. In his mid-20s, David returned home after suffering a serious accident that required surgery to recover from a serious brain injury. Despite these challenges, he was a devoted single father to his 6-year-old daughter, Mariah. David had been entangled in a custody battle with his ex-girlfriend, Kelly Perry. On June 13, 2016, David finally won custody of Mariah. Unfortunately, this victory was short-lived, as the family's worst nightmares soon became reality.
And then, I don't know if you've made it yet this part of the bedroom, but, he likes movies and video games. The TV's on with the video game still on.
So I'm thinking maybe you heard something. It came out.
And so, this stuff's good. His phone should be over there, but his charger is. Here's where he puts his wallet, and it's still there.
Tell me what you think happened.
All fingers naturally began pointing at Kelly Perry, the mother of David's daughter, due to their recent custody battle.
Do you have any friends that come over very often?
He's in a bitter divorce.
Well, yeah, he does.
Custody battle.
He just won custody over his daughter, over the mom.
Tuesday.
And some of her characters she hangs out with her pretty bad.
In jail, drug use.
Yeah.
Her and the child went to New York. They'll be back Wednesday.
In 2009, while David was recovering from surgery, he started dating Kelly Perry. David often complimented Kelly, captivated by her beauty and the incredible way she smelled. Scents have that magic, don't they? They are a powerful way to express who we are without saying a word. Personally, I lean toward oud and musky fragrances. They're bold, they're complex, and timeless. But experimenting with new scents? That's where Scentbird comes in. It's a monthly subscription that delivers a 30-day supply of designer and niche fragrances right to your door. Whether you love big-name signatures like Gucci, Prada, and Versace, or crave indie gems like Confessions of a Rebel, Scentbird has over 700 fragrances to choose from. It is a treasure trove for scent lovers. The portability is unbeatable. These vials pop right into your bag, gym kit, or carry-on, so you're always prepared to smell amazing. And here's the best part. They're just $8 for your first month with my code, compared to $80 to $300 for full-size bottles. So if you're ready to discover your perfect scent, Click that link below or use my code to get 55% off your first month. That is just $8 for a luxury fragrance experience. Trust me, your next signature scent is waiting. David decided to keep this relationship secret from his parents. This was largely because Kelly had certain qualities that David wasn't proud of. Just a few months into their relationship, David's mother, Debbie, received an unexpected call from a family friend congratulating her on becoming a grandmother-to-be. Well, the problem was, Debbie knew nothing about it. Curious and concerned, Debbie started looking into Kelly, eventually uncovering what David had been keeping from her. This discovery would later play a significant role in the future tension between Debbie and Kelly. Not long after, David asked his mother if Kelly could move in with them. Debbie was thrilled at the idea, as it meant that she would be able to watch her grandchild grow up. For a while after their daughter Mariah was born, things seemed to be going well. In fact, David and Kelly were inseparable. But as Mariah turned 3, their relationship began to turn sour. Kelly became increasingly aggressive toward everyone, which eventually led to their separation.
Well, Kelly, the ex-girlfriend, she called me saying that the cops called her. She said that he texted her last night, have her come over. But I don't believe it, and my wife checked she don't think David would do that. And after just what happened, we have her come over. Come over to this place. Yeah.
Well, I also checked the pawn database. It takes a couple days for it to update, but he only pawned stuff basically at one place, so I called that pawn shop. They have not seen him today. Do you mind if I look in the kitchen again real quick? Sure. I want to just look at see if I can figure if that's blood in there. I don't think that's blood. It's tube. The color's a lot different. It could be, but I'm not sure. But there's no. It looks like it's just like drops down. Doesn't look like there's any movement to it. Let me snap a picture of it just in case. Who knows what's going on right now. If he may not want to be contacted. If he decides to take your stuff and try and sell it somewhere, he may not want to hear from you.
Until the phone.
Yeah.
When David Heisler didn't show up for work, the situation escalated, and the case was officially classified as a missing persons case. Desperate for answers, Debbie Heisler turned to Facebook, asking the public for any information that could help locate David. Despite the police's lingering suspicions that he might have left voluntarily, the Heisler family knew that David would never abandon his daughter or intentionally do anything to hurt her.
The thing is that, like with Mariah, I mean, he's been doing FaceTime, Skyping her all day long that she's been gone. And there wasn't a single anything from him at all, nothing.
Has he ever missed work before?
No, I asked him, and he said, no, he's never missed a day yet.
How long has he worked there?
2.5 years.
3 years.
Oh, really? Okay. So it'd be completely out of norm for him if he didn't show up.
I'm pretty sure all his shoes are in the bedroom. Looks like he left it on the shoes.
After retrieving the Heisler's call logs, investigators discovered that the last person that David had communicated with was his ex-girlfriend. Whether David had invited her over remained unclear. Adding to the mystery was surveillance footage from the Heisler neighborhood that had been released. There are only 2 ways in and out of the neighborhood, and at exactly 4:56 a.m., 1 hour after David's call to Kelly, a sedan resembling David's was seen leaving the area. However, the footage was too blurry to identify who was inside. With more questions than answers, detectives tracked down Kelly to find out what David might have said during their last conversation. On June 29th, Captain Rich Rogers and Lieutenant Jerron Studley visited Kelly Perry's home to question her.
Given all of these little events, I think we now need to posture ourselves to look at maybe something horrible did happen to David.
Right.
So we need to start establishing a timeline, and also that means alibi. So the last time someone saw David, which is what time?
The last time I know of that he was seen was his dad said that he saw him before he went to bed Sunday night.
So Ken informed you that Sunday the 26th was the last time he physically saw.
Yes, he said that he saw him before he went to bed Sunday night. And I don't know what time he goes to bed, probably around like 8:30 or 9, I'm guessing. I'm not sure because...
We're told he's a gamer and he stays up all weird hours of the night.
David does. He He's horrible with staying up at night. Monday morning, early morning, he was texting my phone at like 3:30 in the morning, telling me that his dad went to work, showed me pictures of his dad's bedroom with his dad not in it, garage empty, and was trying to get me to go over there.
In your mind, why would he do that?
I don't know. I was like, what the heck? Like, I was half asleep, and I texted him back and said, good. I don't remember sending the text because I was half asleep, but when I woke up Monday morning, I think it was around like 9:30 or 10, I called his phone, and it rang a couple times and then went to voicemail, and I left him a voice message and said, hey, I got these texts from you at 3:30 in the morning. What the heck is that about? Call me back. I thought he was probably at work or something. He never called back. And then I get a phone call around, I think, 7
on Monday.
On Monday p.m.
AM or PM?
PM. From the Washington police telling me that David's missing. Had I heard from him?
Yeah, that was us trying to get a hold of you to find out if
and I said I had no knowledge of this. I thought he was at work the whole time.
At the time, Kelly was in the process of divorcing her husband and had already separated from him. She was living with a woman named Tammy Freeman, who would later serve as her alibi.
Were you with anyone between this whole Sunday the 26th?
Yes, I've been with my roommate the whole time.
Ma'am, what's your...
Her name's Tammy.
Can she get up?
She's right there.
Got ya.
What's your name?
Tammy Freeman.
Tammy Freeman?
Uh-huh.
How do you spell Freeman?
Freeman.
So you've been with Tammy. She can vouch for you as having been here between the times that he's been missing.
Yes.
Okay. Has David ever made mention of being suicidal?
Not to me.
Has he always been chipper and happy, or is
no?
he...
He's had his moments.
He's pretty.
He's
from
pretty
what I've
mellow,
seen him,
usually.
just at the gas station, the 3 or 4 times I've ever seen him, he's like nothing excites him, nothing gets him upset. He's just.
Well, there's times when he has gotten very angry, but it's usually stuff to do with his stepmom telling him what to do or stuff like that. But even when we're together, there's very rare times when I've seen him like sky high angry.
Can you see how or why people are kind of pointing to if something did happen to David that you would be the reason for it?
I can see why, because of the conflict.
You just lost custody of your son.
Detectives had uncovered information that Kelly had started dating a man with a criminal background. This raised serious concerns for the Heisler family, who feared that this man might be connected to David's disappearance.
I'm asking you a hypothetical question. If someone were to have done something to David in your behalf, be it you maybe said something to someone and they decided to take matters into their own hands,
right?
Who would that have been?
Honestly, I have no idea. Like, I can't think
of
any...
So do you have like a boyfriend that you don't really want that follows you around?
Not.
I'm trying to think of a better word. Do you have a stalker?
Legally married.
A creepy stalker? Somebody
not that I know of.
who you would say something to that he would be like, hey, I'm going to help her out and help her get her kid back?
No, I don't.
Satisfied with their interaction with Kelly, the detectives shifted their focus to other aspects of the investigation. Detectives tracked David's car, which first pinged at the Heisler residence on the morning of June 20th. Later, at 6:42 a.m., it pinged again about 45 miles south, just across the border into Arizona. Approximately 13 minutes after that, the car was tracked on Mount Trumbull Loop, a remote road only traveled by experienced ranchers. Captain Rogers described the area as a, quote, God-forsaken wasteland, surrounded by hundreds of miles of high desert, with temperatures soaring to around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 43 degrees Celsius. There was no logical reason for David to be driving out there on his own, raising a major red flag. The search for David seemed to be at a standstill, when suddenly detectives received a tip linking Kelly and her boyfriend, a convicted felon, to David's disappearance. The detectives quickly obtained a warrant to search Kelly's phone, meeting her at a courthouse where she was applying for guardianship of her daughter. Kelly was hesitant to hand over her phone, but she had no choice due to the warrant. However, she refused to provide her password. Despite this, the phone was sent to Utah Tech, where the lab managed to unlock it. Detectives discovered that Kelly had deleted large portions of her conversations, leaving the remaining messages fragmented and confusing. 8 days after David was last heard from, Kelly Perry was brought in for another interview.
Just so you know, you don't have to be here. There's the door if you'd like to go. That makes sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. And again, the reason why we think that you need to be talked to is because you were the last person to text David on his phone. Mm-hmm. You're the mother of his child. And he's missing.
Was anybody with you at the court hearing?
Frank drove me there.
Frank who?
Frank McCard.
You made mention that yours and he relationship is not a romantic. Is that that's correct?
That's correct.
So again, you tell us the relationship between you and Frank.
Me and Frank are, I guess you would say, best friends. I mean.
So did Frank ever take you over to the Heisler's house?
Yeah, he has dropped me off and picked me up for visitation.
Like several times?
Okay. Mm-hmm. He's never gone inside their house. He usually just pulls up at the end of the driveway. I get out of the car and he leaves.
Have you and Frank ever had a romantic relationship encounter? Have you guys ever had sexual relations?
We have in like the very beginning of when we became friends, but it never was like anything serious like that.
What changed?
Just the fact that I didn't feel that way towards him.
So would it be safe to say that Frank probably has somewhat of a little obsession with you?
I'm sure he has feelings towards me. I wouldn't call it an obsession, but...
And he gets physically upset when he sees that you're bothered or that you're...
If he sees me crying or, like, frustrated because of things that have happened at visits or whatever...
It angers him.
It doesn't really anger him. Like, he doesn't get, like, angry, like, the Hulk type angry or anything like that. Like, he gets kind of frustrated, I guess you would say. Like, it bothers him that I'm hurting, I guess. When you see your friend going through such an emotional roller coaster with all the stuff that went on through my custody case, like, I'm sure if I had to see my friend going through that, I'd feel pretty dang frustrated in the fact that David and his family were so just, they've been very, I don't really know the word to say.
Try to think of one.
Like sometimes they've been very vindictive towards me, or like I showed up to her dance class, Debbie wasn't there, David wasn't there, Debbie's mom was there. Mariah was already in the studio, and she comes out and she says, "Mommy, I need to go potty. I need your help." I wasn't thinking, oh, supervised visitation. I was there watching my daughter dance. So I go to the bathroom to help her out of her leotard and her tights and everything, and all of a sudden I get these texts from Debbie, and she's going off about the fact that I'm in the bathroom with my daughter and I better get her butt back to class right now and this and that. And I'm like, whoa, like I was just helping my daughter go to the bathroom. I'm not doing anything wrong. Well, would you prefer me to let her pee her pants?
Yeah.
Now, while Debbie's behavior might seem overbearing, it was rooted in Kelly's troubling past. Debbie had discovered that before meeting David, Kelly had been convicted of physically abusing her 2-year-old daughter. Though Kelly served time and lost custody of her child, she blamed the incident on drug use, which she claimed to have quit. Well, despite this, Debbie made it clear that she would be watching Kelly closely, determined to ensure that nothing like that would ever happen to her granddaughter, leading to frequent conflicts between the two.
Frank's a wild card in my mind with him, the feelings that he has for you. In court, they have recording systems in the courts, so everything that people say in the courts are heard. Right. After the judge gave the ruling, he tells you he'll fix this. Why do you think he said that? He said, "I will fix this." That's what he told you. I'll fix this. He wants you to be happy. This is what I think. He wants you to be happy. Obviously, having your daughter will make you happy. That's engrossed your entire life for the last almost 2 years.
That's all I
he sees that.
To be a part of my daughter's
He's
life.
with you in the court, trying to help you get that taken care of, doing everything he can. He's driving you back and forth, driving you to visitation rights. I think he found out that he was home alone, which isn't normal. David's not normally home alone. He's either got his daughter there, or his mom there, or his dad there.
Frank would have known that, like, my daughter and Debbie weren't home, but I don't know. I don't think he would know, like, Ken's work schedule or anything. Like, that's never been talked about between us, like.
Well, that's the key with you.
What his work schedule
I think
is.
somehow you let him know, whether you meant to or not meant to, let him know that David's home alone that night. Honestly, I think you know that that's what happened in your heart. Whether or not you're willing to say that or not, I think you know that.
As detectives began piecing together a likely scenario of what happened, Kelly's lack of denial spoke volumes. But were their suspicions right?
So this is my concern when I talked about deleted messages. You said Frankie and you guys communicate all the time. You're constantly texting at least every day, right? In your phone and under Frankie, this is when he gets mad about Will Davis, right? And that was on Saturday. Then Sunday morning at 1:44 a.m., you sent him a message. And then after that, there hasn't been a message in this phone until yesterday at 10:13 a.m. So that's almost an entire week you went without even sending him a message, not one time.
I don't know why they're not on my phone, because
I have no idea. So that's what I'm talking about. So now you understand that we're going to send this to the crime lab.
Right.
That crime lab will pull open anything on the phone. They'll pull any deleted messages, anything like that, to get all the records from Verizon, everything like that. So we'll have
anything
deleted,
anything received,
right?
Any pictures,
voicemails, pictures, all that stuff. Everything will have that stuff.
Web links, anything like that.
Why that's weird that all of a sudden that there's nothing.
Yeah,
okay?
I don't know why. It's like that text app that's on there, like it. I don't know if it like deletes messages after it gets
nobody else's. All the
but then it has it prior to. That doesn't make sense.
No, I don't know. Like it does that all the time. Like I'll go in there and look for a message that I'm trying to find, and it won't be there. So I don't know if it's the app or what it is. I don't know.
Did you tell Frank that Dave's alone at home?
I don't think I ever told him that. Like.
This isn't a time for.
This isn't a time.
This is the time to be sure.
No, I
do you understand what's at stake here? Do you understand? There's someone's life that's probably been taken.
I do understand.
You understand that.
And
it's the father of your child.
I know. I understand this is a serious thing, and I'm.
So we're toying with in our head. Either you had something to do with it and had knowledge of it, or this rogue crazy boyfriend of yours went and did it on his own. Either way, you know what happened, Kelly. You do. Please, I'm asking you. Not even necessarily that a family needs closure, but at the same time, this has got to be eating you up. This isn't you. I think a bad choice was made. A really bad choice was made. But guess what? It wasn't your idea, and we know that.
So help us out. Tell us
what happened to David.
I don't know what happened to David.
What have you heard?
The detective's methodical questioning of Kelly seemed to be paying off. With the detectives now firmly in her head, a sobbing Kelly finally began to crack, giving them exactly what they needed to hear.
I don't know where he took him.
Where did Frank? You don't know where Frank took him?
Was he just supposed to scare him when he went there? And then it got out of hand?
I didn't want to get hurt.
I don't know what it says you did. That's the thing. Kelly, we know you know something about it. We know you do. You're a good person because you're here talking to us today.
He was supposed to scare me into letting me have my daughter back.
Kelly, did Frank go to his house?
Yes.
Who did he go with?
I was there.
You were there? Who else was there?
Nobody.
So it was you? What happened at the house?
was trying to get David, and David was fighting back, and I was crouched in the corner because I didn't want to be there.
Did you guys get in David's car?
Yeah.
And then where did you drive it?
He dropped me off by, I don't know what the street is called, on the freeway. And I don't know where he went after that.
He dropped you off on the freeway.
Like, you get off the exit of the freeway, like you're going on River Road. I don't know what it's called.
South River Road by the airport?
I guess. I don't know.
How was David when you got out of the
He was
vehicle?
in the back seat.
Was he with you?
Yeah.
Was he hurt?
I know that they had like a scuffle, and
Someone was bleeding.
I think, I don't know where he was bleeding from, but David was bleeding, and he went to the car, and Frank made him get in the back seat.
And he just got in on his own accord?
Not at first, and then, like, he was trying to, like, fight against Frankie, and then Frankie talked him into just cooperating with him. Frankie kept telling him that if he didn't cooperate, he was gonna kill both of us.
So there are some things in that vehicle when it was recovered in Beaver Dam that would make us believe that a firearm was involved.
I never saw a gun. I don't know. I know he had like a little, like, not a backpack, but like a little,
Like a fanny pack he carried?
yeah. I don't know what was in it. And then he pulled over and made me get out of the car.
And then he drove out to the Arizona Strip?
I don't know where he went after that. Like, I wanted to talk to you guys and tell you guys, but I'm scared.
Who are you scared of? Frankie? Or are you scared about not seeing Mariah?
I was scared of a lot of different things.
Who drove you there?
So we have video surveillance of David's car leaving with people in it.
And vehicles coming and going.
And so that vehicle leaves at 4:50 something. How long were you guys at the house? 4:56 is when that car
I
leaves.
don't even know, like, it all happened so fast, I don't even know how long we were there.
So how did you get there though? How did you get to the house? Who took you there? I'll tell you right now, I know what car was there, and it's sitting in the driveway at the other house. So,
Who drove you there?
who drove you there?
Frankie drove the car there, and then Tammy left. But she didn't know, like...
She was there for 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
So Tammy knows what
She
happened.
doesn't know what happened.
But she knows that you know something.
She knew that we were going over there. She didn't know, like... I didn't even really know, like, what Frankie's plan was.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that he was upset and he wanted to, like, make David understand the pain that I was feeling over not being with my daughter. But I kept telling him I didn't want to be there. I don't want to go. I don't want no part of that. Like,
Were you guys wearing gloves or anything like that when you were with the vehicle?
I think he was wearing gloves.
There's a glove print in the back seat in the back on the door on the driver or passenger side. It's a gloved hand.
Kelly's claim that she didn't know what Frank was planning raised eyebrows among the detectives. After all, what kind of man with a long criminal record shows up at an opponent's house at midnight wearing gloves with no intention to harm? Well, we're about to find out.
He didn't tell you where he left the vehicle or anything like that?
No. Me and Tammy were going to Mesquite because she had birthday money that she had to spend in Mesquite. He asked us to pick him up on the way.
Uh-huh.
And he was at the freeway exit by Beaver Dam.
So how did it come up that, hey, we need to ride over to
Frankie
David's
had
house?
been talking about it for a while that he was gonna go take care of David, and I was like, I don't even want to know what that means or what you're thinking. I don't want to know anything about it. Don't talk to me about it. That night, David was texting me, asking me to go over there. Frankie was like, go over there. He was like, go ahead, go over there. He's like, I'll scare him. And I didn't think it was gonna be like that. I've had nightmares about it.
I'm sure you have. I'm sure you have.
Because I didn't know that he was gonna do all that. Like, I just thought he was gonna, like, scare him.
No, I'm here to tell you, Frankie's batshit crazy. This guy is nuts. Absolutely crazy. But again, I'm really, really glad the county attorney's here and is listening to you and seeing your remorse. But we've got to know every detail.
Let's go to the details. So you decided, he's been talking about this for a while. You guys decided that tonight's the night you're going to go over and scare him. So you catch a ride with Tammy. Tammy takes you to the house.
She didn't take us to the house. She
Where
took
she-
us on the street. Like,
Yeah. You guys walked to the home.
Uh,
Okay. What happened from there?
I knocked on the door and David opened the door and Frankie pushed me out of the way.
So Frankie pushed you out of the way so that he could get to David.
Yeah.
Where was their little tussle at?
He pushed me out of the way, like right inside the front door. And like I was crouched in the corner, like up against the door. And David was like fighting back to him, like trying to push him away or whatever. I just stayed crouched right there because I was scared.
Did you see them go into the kitchen area?
I saw them, like, I saw him have David in the living room by the couch, and then I saw him open the garage door to go out in the garage, and then he got David's keys and he asked me to put the car in the garage. So I pulled the car in the garage. He got David in the back seat of the car. At some point, David came back inside. I think that's when they got in the tussle by the garage door, like going out to the garage.
Is that where the blood came from?
I think that's where the blood came from.
Tussle, what do you mean?
Like, they were like...
Wrestling?
Wrestling, or did he get punched?
Frankie hit him, but I don't know how many times he hit him. But I remember seeing him, like, hit David, and David was hitting back to him and, like, trying to push him off of him. I was just, like, scared the whole time, and I was just, like, trying not to look or see what was going on. David said, okay, I'll just go in the car. Okay, I'll go in the car. David said something about not wanting to die or something, and Frankie said, I'm not going to kill you. I'm not going to kill you. Just get in the car. And we got in the car, and I kept begging David to just cooperate. I was like, please just cooperate. Just listen to him, because I didn't know what was going to happen. I can't remember which way he went, but we ended up going on the freeway, and he dropped me off.
Detectives employed a tactic, painting Frank as the mastermind behind the crime. Interestingly, they weren't the only ones who saw it that way.
I'm the private investigator on the case. He's a bad guy.
David? No, the son or the
No, the boyfriend.
the ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, the baby's mother.
Do you know what his name is?
I think I ran a report on him. His rap sheet. You know her name, right? Yeah.
What is it?
That's
Kelly.
Marie. Kelly Marie.
What's Kelly's last name, but not the old one? Now it's Perry, because she married that guy.
P-E-R-R-Y?
Yeah, they run her. They see.
I know who she is. I've been involved with stuff between your son and her in the past.
Yeah, what's Kelly's boyfriend's name? Frankie McCart. Frankie McCart? Yeah. Spell the last name. M-C-C-A-R-D.
I don't see any blood in there.
Yeah, I don't see it anywhere else either. It's mainly just in the garage and possibly a couple spots in the grout here.
This is unusual.
It's kind of
It's got my
very
hair.
odd.
If I had hair on my head, it'd be sticking up because this is the thing we feared.
When were they in court? He got custody?
Last Thursday.
So does he have the kid now, or where's the kid staying? Oh, she's with mom, or your wife. Okay.
David kept asking me, why are you doing this? And I said, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. And Frankie told him...
Frankie's crazy. I'm telling you.
Told him,
You
said
just found
she's
out.
not doing anything. She said she's hostage too. And I got on the car and he just like left. And I told Tammy where I was at and she came and picked me up.
Did she talk to you?
She asked where Frankie was and I said, I don't know where he went. We went to Mesquite, me and her. Frankie called us when we were on our way to Mesquite and asked if we could pick him up on our way to Mesquite.
In Beaver Dam.
About what time do you think that was? Was it light outside?
I was light outside.
Did you talk to Tammy about what happened?
No.
She hadn't asked questions?
No.
Does she come from a lifestyle where people do
No.
kill people, kidnap people, kill them, and drop their bodies out in the desert?
No. I think she's probably just as scared as I am right now.
Probably. So you've told no one about this?
No.
Someone's telling someone, and people are continuing to call the police department.
I haven't said anything to anybody about it.
Is there anything else you can think of that night that we should know about? Any possibilities of maybe where Frank might have taken David?
I don't know, because I asked him, I said, where's David? And he goes, you don't worry about it. I'm scared to write it down.
You don't have to write it down if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like to speak with the county attorney, or would you rather not?
I just want to know what's going to happen.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea what's going to happen.
At this point in time, you're not free to leave?
Where am I going?
We're going out to jail, okay?
Following Kelly's interrogation, detectives moved swiftly to arrest the last person known to have seen David Heisler alive, Frank McCard, also known as Hollywood. On July 1st, the Santa Clara Police Department received a call about a car matching the description of David's, found in Beaver Dam, Arizona. The car was empty, with no signs of a body ever being there. However, something they discovered made them even more worried.
Finger, man!
I'm sorry.
Ah! Squeezing my finger, man!
Sorry, sir. I'll take it off. I'm sorry.
God damn it!
As expected, McCard put up a fight, but the detectives were more than prepared. With a long criminal record, including assault and drug-related offenses, McCard was no stranger to trouble. From the outset of the interrogation, detectives made him aware of the gravity of the case, making it clear that they weren't going to just pat him on the head.
Not quite where we needed.
Okay, so help me out. We know that Kelly is kind of the mastermind behind this. She convinced you to go? No, she's not? Okay, so it's your idea then?
No.
Then whose idea was it? That Monday when you guys went over there, what happened? Tammy dropped you guys off, and then what? She knocked on the door, and you busted into the house and grabbed David. You wrestled with David. What happened from there after you got David subdued?
I don't know, everything was happening so fast. I can't remember what I said.
Who grabbed the pillowcase?
I think it was already thing by the pile by the couch or something like that. I'm not sure.
He
Everything
tied his-
happened too fast.
Yeah. What'd you tie his hands with? Was it tape? Was it rope?
I think it was rope.
So you had Kelly grab the keys to the car, and did you have her tell her to bring it into the garage? Was that her idea?
Or maybe it was my idea. I'm not sure. I said everything happened so fast.
Where did all that blood in the kitchen come from? So he got hit in the face a couple times. Is that because he struggling, not going with the program?
No, I think mom said on the wall.
Okay.
While you were in the home, a jewelry box was taken. Did you take that? Did Kelly take that?
Like I said, it happened so fast. I can't recall that.
The cash from
His bedroom when you
from
were
his
in there.
bedroom when you were in there. Did you take that? Did Kelly take that?
I think I did it.
Do you remember how much it was?
No.
Was it a couple $100 or was it like $20?
No. I think it was like 60 something.
Did you pull out his wallet? Is that where it was? Or was it just sitting there?
I'm just sitting there.
And then the jewelry box, did that end up in the car?
As far as I know, it was.
You and Kelly now are in the car. You're driving. Where did you go from there? Did you get on the freeway?
Yeah, freeway.
And did you head towards Mesquite, towards Salt Lake?
Southbound.
Southbound. And then you got off on an exit. Remember what exit you got off on?
I got off for a road.
Oh, okay, River Road. Okay, that River Road exit. Okay, I see what you're saying. And that road leads out to the Arizona Strip. It's a dirt road, right?
Yeah.
Was Kelly with you still at this time? Where was Kelly?
This is where we need help. We're thinking Kelly was with you the whole time. If she wasn't,
Did you drop her off somewhere?
I dropped her off before he exited.
So you dropped her off there, and then you took the River Road exit and headed south on that dirt road. Tell us what happened out there when you got to wherever you were going to go.
I don't know how far I went. It's still dark. And I just pulled off.
And then what happened then?
I don't even know if I can. I didn't know if I was going to make it back.
What happened then?
Just dropped him off.
You just dropped him off there? Okay.
you just told him to get out of the car, or what?
With his hands tied in his pillowcase, or did you break his ties and take his pillowcase off? Or did you just kick him out?
No, I never owned no pillowcase, no ties or nothing.
When did that stuff come off?
Just before I stopped.
Oh, just before you stopped, you took that stuff off him?
I'm not that true.
Okay. Did you have a gun with you? I'm not saying you shot him. You didn't pull the trigger and shoot a gun.
I never seen nobody.
I'm not saying. Listen. I'm not saying you shot him. I'm just saying you didn't have the 9mm with you, and you didn't pull the trigger and shoot a round off. I don't mean to scare him or anything like that.
Now, if you're wondering why the detectives are not only asking McCard questions, but also filling in the blanks, that's a deliberate strategy. They want him to believe that they already know the truth and have the full story, leaving no room for lies. The detectives also didn't buy McCard's claim of not having a gun, especially after finding blood and a 9mm bullet casing in the trunk of Heisler's recovered car. So, if McCard didn't have a gun, where did that come from?
No, it was a BB gun.
It was a BB gun.
Soft pellet.
Because we found the 9mm casing. It was in the car.
I don't know. I just had a soft pellet. BB gun.
Okay. Did you shoot him with the pellet gun?
No. I'm not that cruel, man. Come on.
So when you let him out of the car, he was alive.
Hmm?
How long do you think you drove?
Maybe 15, 20 minutes.
15 or 20 minutes?
Off of that airport road.
On that river road, heading south on the dirt road.
I can tell you those GPS pings put you a lot further out
than that.
I don't know. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I don't. It's like everything was happening so fast.
So what did you do once you dropped David off?
I turned around split.
In his car. Where did you take his car?
Over there and the dam bar.
So what do you think happened to David?
It's not that hard for me to. I mean, knowing that he got turned around and then going one way and then going the other way, it's not that hard for direction. I mean.
So would you think that if you dropped somebody off on a road without a pillowcase on, without something tied around his hands,
they should be able to get back, no problem.
Okay. David never made it back.
I don't know.
No, he didn't. Never made it back.
So who's responsible for him if they would have dropped him off?
I guess I would be.
Yeah,
right?
You would be.
What did he do when you dropped him out of the car? What did he do then?
Walked him over by the tree and
then what?
Said, I didn't say nothing.
What did he do from there?
Huh? What did I do from there?
What did he do from there?
I don't know.
You would have looked back. You said you drove down a bit further and turned back around. Did you see him again when you turned back around?
No, I didn't turn back because the windows were tinted. I couldn't see it.
So the driver's side windows are so dark.
I looked in the door mirror. He was still there.
Just standing there, not moving, not doing anything. Really.
Does that not sound ridiculous in your head, Frank?
What would you do if someone dropped you off in the middle of nowhere, took off your ties and your mask thing, and then the guy jumped back in the car? What would you do? You would just sit there and wait and hope that he doesn't turn back around? Or would you freaking hightail it out of the run? Okay, so quit bullshitting us then, because you know exactly what he would have done if that's what would have happened. Okay? That's not so retarded that you're even saying that. That doesn't even make sense.
My understanding is you really love Kelly. you guys got something. Because I know how upset she is. And if she's that upset, that tells me there's something real between you and her, right? So I need you to understand.
That little girl.
That little girl has got a father.
That little girl shouldn't have had to go to what she had to go through.
The accusations of David being inappropriate with his daughter Mariah were unverified and appeared to be the perfect excuse for vengeance. And even if they could build a case around it, the accused was nowhere to be found.
Dad, I get it.
Me too.
I get it.
What would you do?
I get it. I'm there with you. All right.
No, I'm saying I should have never done it, but I did, and I take full responsibility.
So you drive out the road to mile marker 5657. What's David doing during this time?
In the backseat.
Has he got the pillowcase on or off?
Off. He was having a conversation, actually.
I'm sorry?
He was having a conversation, kind of. I asked him, I said, you ever touch your daughter? And no. He goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm not going to hurt you. I said, I'm going to drop you off and you can walk back barefooted. And when I left him standing by the tree, he was standing up and he was alive.
Do you think this guy touched his daughter? Is that kind of what you were thinking? Mm-hmm. Is that what was going on?
She told her mom.
What'd she tell her mom?
And she told DCFS, whatever, and the counselors she was seeing at Southwest, and they didn't turn him in.
So he was touching her sexually?
Mm-hmm.
That pissed you off?
It pissed anybody off.
You have kids?
Yeah, I got 2 kids. I got 2 grandkids. If anybody ever touched that, I'd handle it. I seen that little girl crying out, man. That tore me up, man. And it still tears me up. Same scenario with anybody else. You know, who would not?
We're on day 8. It's average temperature of about 115, and there's no water. Do the math, my friend. All right, Frank, if you don't have anything else, we'll get someone over here to get you back to yourself.
After their interrogation with McCard, detectives conducted a search of the desert area, hoping to find any sign of David, dead or alive. The location that McCard described aligned with the GPS pings. The area was thoroughly combed, and yet all they uncovered were a pair of glasses and some blood-stained pillowcases. Yet there was still no trace of David. When the lab results came back, detectives had successfully retrieved McCard and Kelly's deleted messages. One key search on Kelly's phone showed that she had looked up what happens in a child custody case if the sole custodian goes missing. The recovered chats between Frank McCard, Tammy Freeman, and Kelly Perry revealed that they had been planning David's kidnapping right after the custody dispute. On August 18th, David Heisler's decomposed body was discovered by a geologist along a dirt road in the Mountain Trumbull area of the Arizona Strip, 3 weeks after his abduction. Forensics determined that David had died from exposure to the harsh desert conditions, weakened by his situation. It is believed that he died on June 30th, 3 days after his abduction, stranded in the scorching sun with no food, shelter, or help. David Heisler endured a slow, painful death. Detectives are convinced that if McCard or Kelly had come clean after David was declared missing, they may have saved him. Well, faced with all this overwhelming evidence, all 3 suspects had no choice but to plead guilty. Tammy Freeman pled guilty to vehicle theft, aggravated burglary, and aggravated kidnapping. She served 3 years in prison before being released. Kelly Perry pled guilty to kidnapping resulting in death and is serving a 35-year sentence. Francis Lee McCard, who pled guilty to kidnapping resulting in murder, was sentenced to 29 years in federal prison, in addition to 46 years in Arizona prison, totaling 75 years behind bars. Don't forget, click that link below or use my code to get 55% off your first month with Scentbird for a luxury fragrance experience. Now, if you think this case was horrific, you need to check out my video on the secret BDSM ranch.